So let us labor therefore to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. See, we need to look at their example and do better. We need to have faith in God's plan. We need to work to be a part of that rest. And that rest is to come in the future. A time of rest for mankind. And we need to work. We need to keep His laws, His statutes, and His commandments. That's the works that we need to enter into that rest. Let's look at this glorious rest of God. Let's go to Isaiah the 11th chapter. Isaiah 11 and verse 6. It says, "The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them." It's going to be peace upon the earth at this time. It is going to be peace. Okay, let's keep reading. And then verse 7 it says, "And the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. And the suckling child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice den." See, brothers and sisters, there is going to be so much peace, it's even going to be peace among animals. There are not going to be any carnivorous animals on the earth at this time. Okay? The lion won't look at the kid as supper. It won't be like that. That's going to be peace. We don't know that kind of peace. We know war. We know pestilence. We know hate toward our brothers. We don't even know what true peace is like. But this is what God is going to establish during this time of rest. Let's read on. He says, "They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain." See, the Lord is going to be on the earth reigning here. This is the gospel, that He is going to establish His heavenly kingdom here on the earth. That's why He told us to pray, "Thy kingdom come, that will be done in earth as it is in heaven." So He says, "They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain. For the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea." See, right now there's a famine in the earth for the word of God. There are not too many places you can go to hear someone preaching the truth with uncut. There are not too many places you can go. Verse 10. "And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To which shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious." See, brothers and sisters, this is the rest that we need to work to enter into. This is that rest that Paul spoke of. I'm going to read verse 9 again. "They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea." See, everybody's going to know about the true and living God at this time. And He is going to rule, and the law is going to go forth out of Zion. There is going to be peace over the whole earth. We're not going to look to the UN for peace. The Lord is going to be here. I'll read verse 10 again. "And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse," speaking of Jesus, "which shall stand for an ensign of the people, to which shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious." Let's go to Isaiah the 14th chapter. Verse 3 reads, "And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from thy hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve." See, brothers and sisters, mankind is in need of some rest. Look what's going to happen at this time. "That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, How hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased." See, this Babylon, even though Babylon of old is put away, there's a Babylon today. And it is a spiritual Babylon. And the king, the true king of this spiritual Babylon is none other than Satan the devil. Okay? He is the one that is basically ruling over these kingdoms of the earth. This is why even when Jesus was tempted, He offered Jesus, He showed him the kingdoms of the earth in the moment. He said, "All this shall be yours if you will bow down and worship me." because they are given to him. And whosoever he wants to give them to, he does. That's why Jesus even called him the God of this world. Okay, so he is this king that he's talking about. But it says, at this time the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked, and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted and none hindered. Okay? So the one that had power over the earth at this time is put down. Listen to verse 7. Isaiah says, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Okay? Or he could have said a Sabbath. I mean, this is what this is talking about. Rest. And this is what it points to. That seventh-day Sabbath. And this, by observing it, you show that you are in line with God's plan. Again, we haven't read about the first day. See, what does the first day of the week point to? Nothing. He sanctified the seventh day and rested on that day. Okay, he did it. And he set something forth. And in the future, even beyond our days, he set that rest there for mankind. And the day of the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day. It's going to be peaceful 1,000 years. This is that rest that he's talking about. Revelation 20. Revelation 20 and verse 4. It reads, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus, and for the word of God, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. See, it's going to be glorious. It's going to be a glorious day at that time. But to get to that time, you have to go through the night. You're going to have to go through a 3.5 year great tribulation period. Most say it's 7 years. They misunderstand something that's written in Daniel. It is a 3.5 year period. And God's saints and his people are going to be persecuted. Some will even get killed at this time. But those that refuse to receive the mark in their foreheads or in their hands, because they understand that eternal damnation is promised to those who take the mark of the beast. But they are resurrected in the first resurrection. And they live and reign with Christ 1,000 years here on the earth. Verse 5, but the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power. But they shall be priests of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. See, they're going to sit on thrones. And Jesus is going to sit on his throne. And they're going to reign with him. And see, this is going to be glorious rest at this time. And those who showed a lack of faith in the wilderness, when the Lord delivered them from the Egyptians, they are not going to see this rest. That does not mean they are not going to rise in the judgment. This does mean that they are not going to see this 1,000 years of peace, where the wolf shall dwell with the lamb. Because immediately after this, then you're going to have, after that 1,000 years, you're going to have the great white throne judgment. And then the Father is going to come down from heaven. And you're going to have the Father and the Son here on earth. And there's not going to be any more flesh and blood at this time. Either you're going to be what God is here on the earth, or you are going to be in the lake of fire, burning for eternity. Okay? So this is what the Sabbath points to. Again, we've read what God commanded. We read what Jesus' custom was. We read what Paul's custom was. We have read what that Sabbath points to. A time of rest for mankind that is going to be glorious. Isaiah said the Gentiles will seek this rest. Okay? So now, where did Sunday observance come from? It's not in the Bible. So I have to go to history and show you where your custom comes from. Because it has nothing to do with the Bible, has nothing to do with God. I'm going to read you a couple historical references to show you where this comes from. This first one